Hey everybody, what's going on? Today I wanted to just kind of explore this VST synthesizer. It's actually like my favorite one. I use it on a ton of tracks. It's just so great for just getting initial ideas. It's called Generate, and it's a little bit of a different paradigm than most subtractive synthesizers. With this one, you actually use these things called chaos generators. It's kind of just a totally different thing. And then it has like a Buchla style wave folder and a couple of different ways of sort of distorting your signal before passing it into a low pass gate. And then it's got some really nice delay, chorus, and reverb effects. Yeah, that's kind of, you got your modulation lanes and so on. So just kind of wanted to do a little tutorial on this because it's literally like my favorite synth. I really turn to it a lot, and I've developed a lot of sounds for it and stuff, which in the latest version they've even enabled like tagging and stuff like that. So super great. It's really great for me to just find exactly what I'm looking for and dial in something. It's really good for this kind of like cinematic kind of sounds, and as you'll hear, like the sounds naturally sort of evolve. So just kind of want to get into it a little bit and maybe talk through a little bit of what I'm doing. Cool. Let's I've got this sound kind of dialed up. It's kind of like an initialized sound. This is what it sounds like. As you can hear, like, I love the visual feedback of the double pendulum, which is what this is set at. I'll just kind of scroll through the other oscillator so you can kind of see what's going on. Here's Vortex. Cool, totally different sound. Pulsar. That one sounds a bit scratchy. I'm going to play around with the chaos amount and the shape, and they animate. These three main controls really fundamentally change the sound. Check it out. What's cool too is you have these sub 1 and sub 2, which are octaves below whatever your octave is. Check it out. Cool, let's move on to the next one, discharge. All right, next one's called turbine. You can kind of see with animation, like later we'll put an LFO on that, and it's going to just really kind of make it come to life and really kind of start breathing. Here's Helix. And, That one just kind of begs for a lot of reverb. Check it out. I kind of like that as a sound, like right off the bat. I'm just even gonna go save that. I'm gonna call this Cistern. I put my initials in front of every preset that I have, so I know that it's something that I made. And in here, it's cool. You have this like little tagging thing. So probably this is more a impact, let's call it. Let's see, kind of, it's reverberant for sure, maybe sci-fi and spooky. Save that one out. All right, let's go to Crescent. Before we go on to, well, let's just preview the last one, Magma. This is one of my personal favorites. This is like a really chill one. Cool. So I think like either Magma or Crescent just kind of beg for some modulation. So let's go back to the Crescent one. I think was working a little bit better. I'm just going to start like lightly modulating the parameters. Basically, to do that, you click on one of these LFOs, let's say, and then there's a little box. You can see the connections that show up in front of them, and you can just kind of click and drag up to put it in a sort of positive direction, or this will go negative. And you can also make the LFOs bipolar, which I'll maybe turn off for right now. I'll just kind of start dialing in some modulation, not really worrying about how much I'm putting in there. And then from there, we'll kind of dial in, like, you know, whether we want to go by frequency or by tempo and stuff like that. And we'll kind of start dialing stuff in. I think we'll just start with maybe the chaos generator part of it, and then I'll kind of go into the wave folders, which, as you can see, there's 5 different wave folders that you can kind of choose from. And, you know, depending on which one you select, these different options will sort of change. Like if you go to fractal, then this becomes symmetry as opposed to an animated, it's animate. Cool. So let's just start modulating some of these parameters over here. Right off the bat, I think, you know, this sound seems very bassy, so I'm going to actually increase my frequency on my low pass gate, which, you know, was already set pretty low. I think this might benefit from this like sequence thing. As you can see, there's all these bunch of like different sequences. I'm just going to randomize this a little bit. And I will have it go forward and backwards. So I'll just do that. That's pendulum. And then maybe I'll start applying that to a couple of things instead of the sinusoidal LFO. I'm actually gonna go just a forward because I feel like it'll be a little bit more coherent. Like you can hear, the 8-step sequence. So that's cool. I mean, I'm just playing notes in like kind of, I don't have any idea what the tempo is right now. So kind of just going by like what the synthesizer is giving me, and I'm not like totally on time. You can hear the notes kind of jumping, but I think this could be really good if you have like a super tight kind of MIDI sequence. I don't know what I think of this sound. I don't know if like the sort of this sequence thing with the square wave, it's making it super jagged. I don't know if that's kind of the way I want to go, but maybe I'll save this out and try something else. What should we call this? Jumpy. And I guess I'll call this will be more of like a little sequence type thing, type dealy. Sequence. And maybe pulsing, right? Cool, let's try something else. So first thing I might do is I might remove all these like sequence things that I just put in where, we kind of went for a kind of deliberate sort of sequency type thing. But I'm going to remove that and maybe just stick with the LFOs for now. We didn't bring in the second LFO yet, so maybe we'll do that. Instead of setting that to the tempo, let's set that to kind of like medium sort of frequency, and we'll start tying that to other things. I think maybe the mix of the wave folder might be a good one, and maybe we'll try screwing around with this interval. Also tied the velocity. Maybe there's no reason not to use that as it's coming in as I'm playing notes on the keyboard. So just kind of try modulating some stuff with that too. In the global, there's a bunch of these like stereo width. You can adjust your portamento and pitch bend, as well as the amount that the oscillators sort of drift. There's also 3 different modes: mono, poly, and unison. And you can do 8 or 4 voice unison, or polyphony, right? Yes, for both. You could do 8 voice polyphony or 8 or 4 voice unison. Let's try those. See what happens when we add a chorus, which the mix can be modulated as well, so maybe we'll try that. I'd really like to give this even more grit, so let's see what we can get out of these wave folders. I'm going to maybe audition all 5 of them. Maybe I'll start with the 259, which is a Buchla emulation. Let's see what that sounds like, and we'll move through these 5. Not liking that. I liked the animated, but let's see what else this has in store for us. Gonna go back to the animated. I like that one the best. I think this sound might be a little bit better without either of the subs. It just sounds like maybe more of a like a clean kind of lead thing, and I think the low end is maybe mucking it up a little bit. I took the sub 2 off, I think, which is going to help. Maybe I'll feed a little bit of sub 1 back in. Yeah, let's see what happens with that. How's it going? I drink matcha. Yeah, this is super interesting. I love this synth. I hope you'll check it out as well. By the way, they have a free version of this. It's called Pendulate. The company that makes this is Newfangled Audio. Definitely check them out. Super, super cool. I love the chaos generators. It's like, so inspiring for me. Like, just I can open this up and I just like get awesome sounds out of it all the time. All right, let's check out the maybe feed back down the sub 1, but let's see where we are with that. I kind of like when it comes in just a little bit, so maybe I'll try to use one of these envelopes, give it like a super long attack, and maybe a little bit of a decay, and like the sustain will be really low. And let's see what happens when we put it on that. I think with Pendulate you only get like a couple of these chaos generators or something like that, but for free 99 it's pretty good, right? I mean, you can just kind of play around and get all sorts of crazy sounds. If you want to get going even quicker too, there's this randomize button, which is it'll just kind of get you all sorts of crazy stuff too. We might use that later on. So I'm liking where this sound is. I'm gonna save this out just so I don't like kind of mess it up too much. What would this be called? Like undulating lead? I probably already have something called that, but let's see. Category, probably a lead, right? And modulated, playable, perhaps. Sci-fi, I definitely always put like a lot of my sounds are sci-fi, so that kind of might make sense. We haven't played with the delay too. Maybe we should put delay on this, but maybe I'll call this running around. Maybe I'll try one of the other different chaos generators and just see if that just gives us anything else. Sort of sounds like a square wave or something, right? It's crazy. Let's see what the other oscillators have, or the chaos generators. The generators, not the oscillators. Crazy. Sometimes it's like they get a little too crazy, so you might have to take out some of the modulation. That's crazy. Crescent and Helix with these settings sound like almost the same. It's crazy. All right, let's hit random and see what happens. It's going to assign a bunch of modulations as well. Typically it does, so let's see. It's 2 octaves down. So sometimes it assigns modulations that like kind of don't make any sense. Like here's like modulation or LFO going into LFO1, but sometimes like this is going into envelope 2 and changing the sustain for some reason. Like sometimes it just really doesn't make any sense, so you have to kind of like remove stuff or you might get confused. Oh, that's nice. That'll be good with some delay, I think. I'll take off the reverb for now. these settings are super scratchy. That can also sometimes happen with this synth, which, maybe not the best thing in this case. Like I typically try to remove those scratches, but we'll see. Matcha, yeah, that's totally true. Associate with realizing the entire cave is full of xenomorph eggs. Yeah, that's exactly why I love this synth, because I love Alien, and like, yeah, it just makes totally sci-fi sounds all day long. Cinematic sci-fi, I love it. So I definitely want to have some sort of swelling thing going on with the envelope, maybe to increase the drive, like put it up all the way. But like, yeah, I think these settings are probably pretty good. I mean, I'm not even gonna worry about that, because I'm just gonna have the sustain up at 100, so the decay doesn't really matter. I feel like we want to try to do the same thing to this mix as well. Start it like kind of low, and then it kind of gets like crazy chorus. I'm liking that sound. Let's save that one out. Call it Xenomorph, obviously. We got to put sci-fi on that, reverberant, delay, spooky, and drone, right? If it might sound like kind of like crazy that I'm putting all these tags, but trust me, when you go to in here, you can kind of like figure out like what your favorite sounds are and stuff like that. I've got everything located by category. And, then it's like you can just kind of go through here and, figure out like what you might want to use for your song. I like to do this kind of stuff like on days where I'm not feeling especially productive, because you're kind of just like setting yourself up for future success, setting up some cool sounds. Let's hit the random button again and see what we can work with. I kind of love that out of the box. Let's see what else we can do with it. The decay time set like super long. Okay. Yeah, Matcha, I can't tell you how much I love this synth. I mean, I literally use it almost like every track. It's just like starts all the ideas going. I'm pressing one key here, Like, what if we put some like fast LFOs on this? I wonder what that would kind of do. Well, it's already actually set at that, so let's go for it. Actually, I'm already seeing that this should probably be set to a super fast tempo, right? Because if it's gonna give me that like almost like dubstep wub wub, but in this context. Okay, so just turning off the reverb, I actually feel like I like the reverb, right? But it is maybe drowning out this sound a little bit much, so I'm going to play with the decay time in the mix. All right, that like crazy like insect fluttering wings, I want to try to bring that out with like there's like a little EQ that you can kind of bring out the frequencies. Let's see if we could bring that out. I definitely want to save this out. I might continue working on it, but like I kind of want to set, just at least get this state of the sound, which is really awesome. Gotta call this one Insect Hell. Definitely sci-fi again, right? It's a recurring theme. Cool. Yeah, and this will be more like an effect type of thing, right? So I guess texture, yeah. Sure. Let's maybe play around with just go to a different oscillator and see what happens there. There it is. Same thing here that was happening with the reverb and the other sound. It's like the sub 2, the octaves, the sub octave 2 octaves down is kind of muddying things up. So I want to kind of dial that in. I think I'll probably take off the modulation for both of these subs just because I probably don't want that to move around too much because I can already see it's getting kind of muddy 2 octaves down. So I'll probably do the same thing with the 1 octave too. Sounds pretty nice to me. I'll save that one out. Call this one maybe not insects, because it didn't have that like fluttering wings this time. I wonder. Let's see. Just pick a name, anything. Sunken corridors. Why not, right? That's more of a lead. I'll keep the other stuff in place. Cool. I'll go to like, I have this thing in my leads, like it's my init patch. So maybe just go to that. So probably not have any modulation on it. Yeah, let's just see what we have. Yeah, pretty initialized, I'd say. Kick the octave up a little bit, just so I can reach it. Yeah, so it can kind of do these kind of sweet sounds too. I've got this little sequence going on in the background. I'll just kind of solo this. Maybe that way I won't have to just play along the whole time. And kick up the tempo a little bit. Reverb makes everything better. Turn up the drive. Not sure I'm a huge fan of this sound. It just feels a little bit vanilla. And I don't really like what the wave folder is doing it. Like if I were to save this sound out, just probably just do it with 0% mix on the wave folder. But let's explore some of the other chaos generators and we might find some other kind of nice moves. Wow, it's like a dissonant sound. That's crazy. It's probably this interval, which gives me like, I think this is a major second, so it's giving me, I think, some harmonics related to that. Perfect fifth. bells. My least favorite type of sound is FM bells. Not super feeling this sound. Maybe we'll hit the random button. Let's see what we got. Not hearing anything here. Frequency gate is all the way down. It's another weird sound. Go mono. Whoa. That's what I mean. Sometimes you get random stuff that just makes no sense. Let's see what else there is. This is something. This is workable. With this sound, I want to see how much I can kind of push the low end. So I think this is going to be a dance between mixing up the wave folder and the drive, and then probably, again, reducing down that sub 2. We're already 2 octaves down for my original sequence, so we're probably pretty dang low. But let's just see what we can get out of it. Look at how much this sound just cleans up just by getting rid of sub 2. It's crazy. Like, I think I had it at like 17% or something. Listen to this versus off. Like, it just sounds so much better with it off, you know? I think right off the bat, like a chorus would sound pretty good. Maybe not too heavy-handed. Let's see what happens. I'll mix it up. I think I want the chorus as well to get a bit more wet as there's an envelope happening, so I'm going to increase this and then play with my envelope settings. Maybe they're sort of approximately what the ADSR is doing. Doesn't have to be exact, obviously. And actually, if it's less, I'm going to turn off the loop because I only think I want it to happen one time. If it's less than, like, you know, if this is faster than the attack, then the kind of chorus will really kind of ramp up. So I like doing this a lot too, like as I increase the drive in the mix, perhaps maybe something else goes down, right? So you get this kind of like interesting interplay between the various parameters, you know. It's not that like everything has to go up, you know, at the same time. Like it would be cool to, I don't know, like reduce the filter frequency or something like that as you're increasing the resonance, right? So you get these kind of different interplays. Then when you have like two LFOs that are going at different speeds, you know, you can just kind of keep making sure that your sound just keeps moving around the whole time. So like I think let's try to work in an LFO here, maybe a bit slower speed. And maybe it'll just affect things just very, very gradually, like the animate and the chaos shape maybe. I want to try to pull in the second LFO as well. Maybe just at like a very weird kind of rate, like 27, right? Something that's not going to easily multiply with this, like, so maybe make this like 15 or something like that, so then we'll sort of never line up. It's nice too to LFO the sustain, right? Because then you're going to get kind of like a changing volume level with each hit, and even while the note is being held down too. So that's a nice little effect too. I love doing this too with the two LFOs, like kind of get them going in different directions. So they're kind of battling each other as they modulate the parameters. The sound is feeling pretty good to me though. Wonder what else we can do. Should we put a little bit of reverb on it? I'm kind of hesitant because it is kind of like a bass patch and I don't want it to like, again, muddy it up too much, but we'll really just kind of roll off the low frequencies here. I'm honestly not sure if we need it. I feel like it's just not needed. Like not everything has to have reverb on it. Probably not the delay either. Maybe let's mess with the EQ. Maybe we can get some more bass frequencies out or something. As you can see, I can LFO the EQ bands that this has. So yeah, why not? Let's keep things moving even more. All right, cool. I think this sound is feeling pretty good to me. Let's call this Death from Below. It's definitely a bass patch. Dirty, distorted, bass, gritty. Cool, let's try something else. Let's go random. That's the one thing, it's like these sounds, like they have so many like modulations and sometimes they don't go anywhere. So I'm actually gonna go to maybe something I've done before and kind of iterate from that. Maybe I'll go to texture. What's resonant twinkle? Yep, definitely a twinkle. There's tons of modulation on this though. I'm gonna just try to find something that has like less lanes of modulation in it. Let's try this. Maybe I'll just go back to my maybe pingy lead. Maybe that's got a ton of modulation on it too. Dang. Let's see. All right, we'll just go to my init patch and just go from there. I love this effect that I'm getting with these sort of crazy high speed LFO modulating the sustain and the resonance and the poles, giving this like really kind of jittery, scary character. I wonder what this would sound like an octave or two up though. So I'm definitely liking it there. What I'm going to do is save this patch out, but then I'm going to continue working on it to see if I can get more of like a lead sound out of it with that kind of skittering warble, which I really like. I'll call this one Nervous Nelly Bass. Cool, let's keep working on this sound and maybe get something else out of it. I'll pull it up. Let's just pull it up 1 octave and see if we can find some sweet spot. So I'll save this one out too. Maybe this is the last one that we'll do, Nervous Nelly lead. Cool, I think I'm going to call it there, but I hope if you watched, you got something out of this. Definitely check out Pendulate. It's their free version of this. This is the Generate plugin made by Newfangled Audio. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys on the next one.